येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वलितो ज्ञानमय प्रदीपः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ध्यानमूलं गुरुर्मूर्तिः पूजामूलं गुरुर्पदम् मन्त्रमूलं गुरुर्वाक्यं मोक्षमूलं गुरुर्कृपा देवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। सद्गुरु भगवान की जय, सच्चिदानंद भगवान की जय, कृष्ण भगवान की जय, गीता महारानी की जय। We are going to discuss Srimad Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter. 7th sloka we could not complete in 2 days. That is, Mamevanso jivaloke jivabhuta sanatana manah sasthani indriyani prakriti sthani karsati. So, I am an eternal portion of myself, having become a living soul in the world of life, draws to the senses with the mind for the sixth, abiding in nature. This is what we were discussing. We have to see what is ignorance. Ignorance. He says ignorance is the limiting adjunct of the individual soul. On account of the limitation caused by the ignorance, the soul experiences that It is the doer and the enjoyer. In essence, the individual soul is the individual soul is identical with the Supreme Being or Brahman. When ignorance, the limiting adjunct or principle, is destroyed, the individual soul jiva realizes it identically, realizes its identity with the Supreme Being Brahman. Exactly this sentence we were discussing in Gita class, Yoga Vasit class today morning. Same thing, ditto, word by word. What is called mukti and what is called bondage and world. The absolute being, a being. What is a being? आज सुबह क्या सब चर्चा चल रहा था? बंधन में कैसा फंसता है? खोपड़ी। आज ममता कहाँ से लाए? चार तो पॉइंट बताया था, इग्नोरेंस का चार अलग रूप, अपने मन से ममता को ले आए। बोलो चार क्या था? खोपड़ी खराब। बोलो whatever the ignorance, because of ignorance, which is seen in four ways, four aspects. Because of ignorance, the Supreme becomes a being, individual being, and it creates the world. It itself is the world. And when he withdraws from the world and yes. Who? Who are you, my dear? When the individual knows all this ignorance, he withdraws himself from ignorance and he remembers the first identity. He becomes free from all the bondages. He is no more a being, nor there is any world. World disappears. That is what in shortcut we are discussing. The same thing is said here. Because of ignorance only, the ignorance is nothing but limiting agent, which limits everything. And the Supreme Being, Param Brahma, he identifies himself as the individual being. उसको बंद करो ना, क्यों हल्ला कर रहे हो? कौन है वो? हैं?
स्वामी जी, कोई जनार्दन रेड्डी बोल के कोई थे जिनका आवाज आया अभी।
हल्ला कर। So, on the account of the limitation caused by the ignorance, the soul experiences that it is the doer and enjoyer, karta bhi hai, bhokta bhi hai, and he has got the identity as individual being I am, and in essence the individual soul is identical with the Supreme Being or Brahman. When ignorance, the limiting adjunct or principle, is destroyed, the individual soul itself realizes its identity with the Supreme Being. The same individual being becomes the Supreme. तत्वमसि उसका जो लक्ष्यार्थों का आज विचार कर रहे थे ना, लक्ष्यार्थ, all the language, it is only indicative, it indicates something which is not the reality. This is how we were discussing in the morning, the being, individual being itself is the supreme, and that is shown to him by the Guru by indicating you are that. This is how here also we see the same thing. The jiva, the individual being itself, being influenced by or by the wrong acceptance. I am the individual being. By limiting, I am so limited. I am not unlimited, the universal being. I am limited by name, form, and I and my. I is also limited, and my also is limited. All these are limited. And all these limitations, when broken down, he becomes unlimited, the universal being. And that universal being never meets any end. तो आप सवाल कर सकते हैं क्या ब्रह्मा का कोई मृत्यु नहीं? हाँ, we have seen Brahma also has, the creator has also its lifetime, 100 kalpas it lives, and every day it creates, and night he withdraws all the creation and goes to sleep. In this way, 365 days of a year of Brahma, not our years. And in that way he lives for 100 years. 100 years. Anyhow, Brahma withdraws himself from the creative aspect, and Saraswati disappears, and that's how he never dies, but he disappears. Of course, the individual being also disappears. That also we have seen from different discussions. We know this death and again taking birth in a different new body, and that body also will remain for some time. Again it will get a different, it will transfer into this different aspect, from gross to subtle, subtle to gross. In this way it will go on from earthly life to the heavenly life, that means to the subtler realms, and again it will create a gross body to work out his scheme, prarabdha karma. In this way it goes on changing its phases, that's all. So Brahma also we can say in the same way. And here the individual is not free, he is not independent to decide when to change the phase, but the Creator is independent. Again you may put the question, if he is independent, why there is a span of 100 years of his life? Why? He is bound to time, he is dependent on time. You see, there are so many complications. It is just like the egg is first or the hen is first. Swamiji, which is first?
जो आप ऑर्डर करेंगे वही फर्स्ट आएगा।
यही तो बात. Whether the egg is first or the hen is first. You are sitting in the restaurant ordering for chicken or omelette, egg, whatever you order, that will come first. Arey yaar. So it is just like that, whether time is fast or the Creator is fast. Whether the Creator is subject to time or time is subject to Creator. How the time is created? Who created the time? They are golmol. Golmol. It is question of, there is no answer to it. Why? Because whether the first horn of the rabbit is visible to you or the second. And those ghosts who came last night and they were fighting among themselves, one was hurt seriously, and to which hospital he was taken? How is he?
वो एम्स ऋषिकेश में ले गए डॉक्टर पांडा ले गए।
हाँ, Indras. Yes. To Indras, he was taken to Indras for plastic surgery. What all went done in 3-4 days. अरे ये जोक कोई आया था, एक फोड़ा, some swelling, and to give some cords. Our doctor, AIMS doctor, he said, take some medicines and we can have a small surgery in our hospital. And these fellows, they thought, we have to do plastic surgery, we have to take Indras to Indras, Dehradun, and they will charge lakhs of rupees. They will put in the ICU first for 10 days. They know how to extract money. And in 2 days, that swelling burst itself because medicine was given. And it was cured by itself. ऐसे ही बात, सारा दुनिया ऐसे ही है। और हमारे जो क्या हुआ योगीराज है, नहीं योगीराज हमारा रामदेव योग गुरु पतंजलि, वो पहले ऐसे ही करता था, उस थोड़ा नहीं दे पाया प्रूफ करके और फिर उसको छोड़ दिया। मैं 2 मिनट में वो सारे ऑपरेशन और सुखा करके सब छोड़ दूंगा। वो कबूतर का टट्टी ले करके चारों तरफ लगा दो, वो मुंह को छोड़ करके 2-4 घंटे के अंदर सारा निकाल देगा। वो इतना गर्म है, फाड़ फूड़ के सब निकाल देगा। ब्रण जो स्वेलिंग है ना, वो सारा निकाल देता है। लेकिन इसको तुम सबके लिए प्रयोग नहीं कर पाएंगे। कोई पूछेंगे तो प्रूफ दो, क्या प्रूफ दोगे? प्रूफ कुछ नहीं। इसीलिए इसको पब्लिकली हम नहीं कर सकते, छिपा कर तो कर सकते हैं। और इसका जो रिजल्ट है तुम्हारे लाखों रुपया खर्चा करने से नहीं मिलेगा। ये रिजल्ट नहीं मिलता है। 2 बूंद जूस डाल दोगे तो चाहे कितने भी खून आ रहा है तुम्हारे खोपड़ी से, नाक से, 1 मिनट के अंदर खून बंद होगा। करें क्या? प्रूफ नहीं उसका, पेटेंट नहीं किए हम क्या करें? ऐसे ही सब होता है। तो उसके ऊपर मजाक कर रहे हैं, छोड़ो उसको। तो हमारा क्या था सब्जेक्ट? भूत आया था। हाँ, वो कौन सा अस्पताल में ले गया था वो भूत को? द क्वेश्चन इज इरेलेवेंट, देयर इज नो सच क्वेश्चन which will have some answer. Similarly, when we ask such question, there is no answer whether time is first or the creator is the first. Creation means time, time means creation. They are not different from each other. Time means change, time means creating gaps, intervals, time means calculation, time means multiplication, time means action and reaction, time means creation. So, creator itself is time. When we see it differently, then there such question comes. In this way, some questions are unanswered. Similarly, the individual is the absolute being and the absolute is individual. There is no difference. Jiva Brahmeva Kevalam. But once we have created the difference, then the case is, it has gone to court. The judge will decide. It is not in our hands. So this is what he says. Mame vanso jiva loke jiva bhutah sanatan. This being, my a person of my being, eternal person, that is, that becomes the living being limited by itself, and it creates a body, a gross body, it creates with 5 units to observe itself by itself, that is, to see itself or to you see, when it thinks I am one, then it wants to see himself in many forms, many forms. So that those 5 units, mana sasthanindriyani, 5 units of say elements, that is the smell, touch, etc., taste, etc. By that it sees itself or becomes itself many and observes itself in many ways. That's how it is the same, but it assumes I am many. So that one part becomes a being, individual being. This is what he wants to explain. Mame vanso jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. Manah sasthanindriyani, being mind, the sixth sense. Prakriti dhani karsate, it creates a body for use of it, a limited individual body, taking the ingredients, accumulating the ingredients from the 5 elements. That's all. And mind is the sixth sense. It oversees the work, overseer. The work is given to the contractors. He is the overseer. Just as the ether in the pot becomes one with the universal, either when the limiting urgent, the pot is broken. The same example was given in the Gujarat class. Exactly the same. How it coincides, you see. Pot example. सुबह इसी का तो हम चर्चा कर रहे थे. Here also he is giving the same. A pot, earthen pot, just as the ether in the pot becomes one with the universal ether, when the limiting adjunct, the pot is broken, so also the individual soul becomes one with the Brahman, when the limiting adjunct, ignorance, is annihilated. Just as there is no return of the pot, either after it has become one with the universal ether, when the pot is destroyed, so also there is no return of the individual soul after the limiting urgent, the antakaran. Antakarana, that is mind, and the other inner instruments, that is man, buddhi, chitta, or ahankar, fourfold inner mind. Antakarana, that is mind and other inner instruments. When it is destroyed, it becomes one with the Brahman. All these fourfold mind and the body. Body, of course, is the outer covering, and inner soul with this, that is, in other way we see, it is the eightfold body, Puryastak, 5 elements, and mind, ego, and prana. So in this way, these 8 inner subtle body, it becomes one with the Absolute when all these limiting adjuncts are annihilated, disappeared, it is destroyed. Just as he gives the example of the inner ether of the empty pot. When the pot is broken, the ether becomes one with the absolute outer ether, outer sky. Does it again come back to the same form again if we try? Can it come back? Put hundreds of pots, empty pots there. How do you think? Can you say this same sky entered into those empty pots? Can you say so? Can any scientist prove the same ether has entered? No way. It is gone forever. That means that same old ether cannot come back to that broken pot again. Put new pots as many as you like. Never it can. Other way also we see, say, I have brought a glass of water from Ganga and there came some little ants and some insects. I put it back in the Ganga. And again from the same spot I took another glass. Can you see the same water which I poured before has come to me again? Never it can. Can you bring some 5 kilos of sky from Delhi to Uttarakashi? I sometimes ask. People ask me, Swamiji, what shall we bring for you? I am coming from Delhi. Please ask me something. I want to bring something for giving you as a gift. Then if they say, ask me again and again, then being exhausted, I say, please bring Delhi ka laddu, 5 kilos, or Delhi ka sky, polluted sky, because I have not seen such polluted sky here. Our sky is always clear, free of pollution. Bring some 5 kilos of smoky, polluted sky from Delhi. This is how it is impossible. Jadgatva ananivartante tadhama paramam mama. Where from there is no return. That abode is mine. इसको तो पहले कहे, ये तो that's why that is what is explaining. न तद्भासते सूर्यवन शशांको न पावकः जद्गत्वान निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम. This is how he explains in this sloka also. Going where nobody has any return anymore. So the individual becomes the absolute. Jiva Brahmeva Kevalam. Pratibimba, reflection. How the individual being is created. There are many angles of vision. It is explained. Of course, Jiva is not there. When you see some shadow, just as we go round Tiruvannamalai and we see the Arunachal mountain from different angles, it looks differently. somewhere it is just like Lord Shankar only sitting with dhyan pose. Somewhere it is seen as Parvati, ईश्वर दोनों इकट्ठे बैठे हैं. Somewhere Nandishwar, somewhere Ganeshwar, and somewhere something like. From different angles it looks differently. Similarly, the reflection, which is known as the individual being, it is explained, it is seen, it is observed by different seers in different ways, and they express it differently. So some say the individual being is nothing but the reflection of the absolute within itself, just as we are discussing the curved mirror is reflected in mirror itself. The reflection of the mirror is in the mirror itself, and that from different angles looks differently. And from three directions that appear like three other than each other, they are differently seen. Just as 3-dimension picture, we see from three angles, it looks, the same picture looks Sitaram, and from other angle only Hanuman, from other angle it is only Ram. So in this way, same picture looks differently. So the reflection of the absolute in absolute, just as the reflection of the transparent, that prism, sphatic money, it creates some reflection within itself. So that is seen from three different angles in the prism. So it is seen differently. Those are called three gunas, three qualities, sattva, rajas, tamas. And one reflection, it looks differently from different angles. And they are together called, because it creates the confusion and changes, it changes from every angle if you see. So all these changes which are not there, they appear. That is called the illusory maya. Arey yaar, this is how one sect of thinkers, they declare it like this. Others say, no, it is only thought process. What is thought? Vibratory system. The energy from other angle. One energy goes on changing into many, and same energy takes different names as it works and as it is seen by different conditions, by different time, as it is seen as it does, so it is named. In this way, the same energy becomes many. So it is the play of energy. And so many different ways it is explained. And everybody says the same thing, but language differs, their vision differs. They explain differently. Here it is said the reflection is in the individual being is nothing but its reflection. And here he says, Mame Bansa, it is a part of me. So how do you say? A ray of light from sun, is it a part of sun, or it is the reflection of sun, or it is the nature of the sun? How do you define, how will you explain it? As you explain, that will be a sect. People will understand it, they will follow you, and it will be a school of thoughts. In that way, same thing, bhai, it is not, the ray is not other than the sun, nor it comes out of sun. Just as we saw in the morning, the heat is not different from the fire. If there is no liquidity, where is water? Huh? Similarly, all these beings, they are within the absolute truth only. They are seen differently. When that difference is gone, then it is the absolute, the original one, all pervading one. When you go to sleep, do you see your hands and legs differently, different than each other? No, my eyes are now closed, my ears are open. Do you feel like that? No feeling. You forget, already you have forgotten. This is a negative way. And in real meditation, we pose to meditate as if we are meditating. But in real meditation, you forget everything. That forgetfulness different in deep sleep and different in meditation. Meditation, you are aware of yourself. That awareness is not forgotten. Whereas in deep sleep, you forget yourself, your body, your parts of the body, you forget. That forgetfulness, in both conditions you feel, but one is in a positive way, other is in a negative way. Anyhow, this forgetfulness, how do you take it? In this forgetful condition, how do you think your limbs of the body have they gone out of you, or they are yet with you? Huh? How do you explain it? What is the language? Whether it is in deep sleep or it is in meditation, you have no limbs, you have no body at all, no feeling. How will you explain it? Similarly, many people have explained in different way. Here, Lord gives the easiest way, simple most way for Arjuna to understand. Mamevansa jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. It is eternally there, because I am eternal. So my assumption of my limbs or my age or my reflection is eternal. So individual being also is eternal. There is no end to it. And that's how we say our nature is eternal, it is never ending. Neither it is started, nor it ends anywhere. unending. So tomorrow we shall see further this Pratibimba theory, how the individual is seen, what is right, what is wrong, which school of thought, how do they explain, in what way, who is right, who is wrong. What is really this individual being? That means who are you? We shall see tomorrow again, little by little. It will take some time. Having merged in me, the individuality when disappears in the universal, all-pervading being, it has to not come back again. Jadagatvana nivartante tadhama paramamama. This is how he explains the individual when becomes Brahman. That abode is eternal abode, which was told before. Fear from other angle, tomorrow we shall see. If we enter into it, it will take time. The individual soul is only an imaginary imaginary we shall see it tomorrow. I will enjoy it. Okay. Hari Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnada Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevamasisyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai. Sachidananda Bhagavan ki jai. Sabda Brahma ki jai. Saraswati Maharani ki jai. Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. Gita Mata ki jai. Hari